Reigns addresses his WWE future following crown jewel loss. Hello guys. Welcome to my channel, I am Elena. Have a nice day. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. WWE Crown Jewel Perth Premium Live event is officially in the books. The event featured some spectacular bouts. The kickoff contest on the card was the rematch between Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, this time with an Australian street fight stipulation. The original Tribal Chief dominated the bout against Reed, and it looked like Reigns was going to win. However, things changed for the former undisputed WWE champion during the final moments when Braun Breaker interfered to help Bronson gain momentum. This forced the USOs to rush out to aid Roman. Initially, Jay and Jimmy USO took out both Braun and Bronson. However, main event Jay USO made a major mistake when he went for a spear on Reed. The Australian star ducked, and Roman Reigns mistakenly took the spear on the table instead, allowing the Auszilla to pin Reigns. The OTC looked upset and was also heard telling the USOs that he loves them, but he doesn't want to see them before Christmas. Additionally, Reigns was seen mumbling something on the ramp. Interestingly, a new video has revealed what he said. Roman seemingly expressed that he wants things to be like old times and wants the power. "I just want things to go back the way they used to be. I want the power. I'm tired of this *T, he said. Roman Reigns injured himself at WWE Crown Jewel. During the match, the original Tribal Chief got himself in trouble as he was seen pouring blood into the bout. Reigns busted his elbow while taking a risky bump. During the match, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker connected a Shield powerbomb on the former undisputed WWE champion, which probably mislanded, and Reigns cut his elbow, causing him to bleed. The commentary team immediately informed fans about the injury and even revealed that the doctors were checking the Tribal Chief. It will be interesting to see what plans the Triple H-led creative team has for Reigns. Next. WWE star set for title shot. Beating Roman Reigns, a golden ticket. According to Big E, former WWE champion Big E thinks beating Roman Reigns is the golden ticket to a future title shot. Reigns suffered a shocking loss at WWE Crown Jewel Perth in an Australian street fight. The Tribal Chief opened the premium live event against Bronson Reed, who was accompanied to the ring by Paul Heyman. The two beat each other up early, with the action spilling onto the outside. Braun Breaker got involved in the match, prompting the USOs to support Reigns. However, things went south after Jay USO speared Roman Reigns through a table. It allowed Big Bronson to hit the tsunami on the OTC for the pinfall victory. Reed is just the second WWE superstar to pin Reigns in one-on-one action since 2020, joining Cody Rhodes. On the Crown Jewel Perth post-show, Big E said that Bronson Reed should get a world title shot for beating Reigns. It's a huge accomplishment that should position Reed at the start of the line. I think he essentially has the golden ticket. If you pin Roman Reigns, if he wants a world title shot tomorrow, he should be able to have that. He should be able to skip the line. It means that much, Big E said. It will be interesting to see what's next for Bronson Reed. He might not be allowed to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently held by Seth Rollins, and both are members of the Vision. What did Roman Reigns say after losing to Bronson Reed? As expected, Roman Reigns was very disappointed after losing to Bronson Reed. He expressed his frustration to Jay and Jimmy USO, who tried apologizing to the Tribal Chief. Reigns understood what the USOs did for him, but he claimed that it no longer works that way and things aren't what they used to be. He expressed his love for Jay and Jimmy, but he doesn't want to see them until Christmas. After Reigns walked out of the ring and back to the locker room, main event Jay seemed furious, leaving his twin brother in the ring less than a month after they officially reunited new members to join the Vision in WWE. Crown Jewel 2025 proved to be a great show for the Vision. Bronson Reed defeated Roman Reigns in the Australian street fight, while Seth Rollins secured victory over Cody Rhodes in the main event. However, with the Vision progressing in WWE, new members are expected to join soon. In this article, we will look at 3 new stars who might join the villainous faction in WEE. For a long time, Austin Theory has been absent from the sports entertainment juggernaut. Already, Theory and Grayson Waller are separated on Raw. This increases the likelihood of A-Town Down Under star joining forces with the Vision as its newest member. There are already rumors of Theory joining forces with Seth Rollins' faction at WWE Survivor Series, War Games 2025. So it's likely he may become a permanent member of the faction after War Games. Additionally, during the pandemic, Rollins and Theory were part of an alliance, which makes their reunion on the red brand more likely. Brock Lesnar might join the Vision on WWE Raw. Not only Austin Theory, but Brock Lesnar is also rumored to be part of the Vision team in the War Games match. The Beast Incarnate is expected to assist Seth Rollins' team against Roman Reigns. At WrestlePalooza, Lesnar and Paul Heyman reunited, and later Rollins confirmed that he had given prior approval for the Oracle's action. Considering this, it seems that the Beast Incarnate could be working with the Vision, and it wouldn't be a surprise if he joins the faction in the near future. At WWE Crown Jewel 2025, the Bloodline saga took an unexpected turn when Jey Uso accidentally speared Roman Reigns, costing him the match. Later, the OTC left the ring in frustration, and the Yeet Master also confirmed that he is out and walked away. Things weren't good for Big Jim in the OG Bloodline, as Roman was unhappy with him for not allowing Jey to maximize his potential. Amidst all this turmoil, Jimmy Uso might decide to leave the OG Bloodline and team up with the Vision. With this, Big Jim will be protected from harassment by the OTC, especially now that Reigns and Jey are on the same page and nothing is in Jimmy Uso's favor. 8. New directions for WWE after Crown Jewel 2025. Super Gunther is coming for John Cena. Also, AJ Styles in TNA, Brock Lesnar and Jey Uso going heel. WWE boss Triple H would argue that there were 2 titles up for grabs at Crown Jewel. He'd argue it on a technicality, and he'd be right. Both the men's and women's Crown Jewel championships were decided. Remember those when they appear on Monday's Raw at best, then get dumped into storage somewhere before being dusted off and rejeweled with some local gems next year? There's no way Seth Rollins and Stephanie Vacker are hauling those things back to the United States in their luggage. Being brutally honest, Saturday's Australian PLE was as throwaway a show as you're going to get. That's not to say the card was a waste of energy for folks tuning in. Matches like Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns, AJ Styles versus John Cena, Vacker versus Tiffany Stratton, and Rollins versus Cody Rhodes were all watchable and offered plenty of fun exchanges, but it was creatively neutered by the booking and build going in. There just didn't feel like much at stake across all 5 bouts on the night, but at least it wasn't the nightmare fuel it easily could have been. The good news is that we now have firm directions for everyone from Cena and Styles to Seth, Vacker, and the Bloodline. Oh yes, Reigns and the USOs added yet another wrinkle to their seemingly endless string of Bloodline badassery, and it's coming at an inopportune time with War Games on the horizon. Cue several weeks of Frost heading into Survivor Series. So here's where it looks like the game will take things next. Someone's about to launch a comeback, then claim another iconic scalp, and another worker could play party pooper for the Vision on TV rather soon. That loss to Stephanie Vacker in Saturday's Crown Jewel title match seems significant for one Tiffany Stratton. WBDWE's creative team have been letting their very own walking, talking, wrestling Barbie down for a while, and it now looks like she'll be dropping her women's title sooner rather than later. That's on the writers because, well, what the hell have they been up to with Tiffy time lately? Look, there's no shame in losing to Vaquer because La Primera is on the rise, but it does tell the full story of where Tiffany is at right now. She's still talented enough to bounce back and will only get better. It's crazy to realize how new Stratton is to wrestling, but her booking has been really suspect for too long. That needs to change in a hurry. Dropping the belt may actually be a saving grace for Tiffany, because it'll rally some fan support behind her again. Whilst she's still getting some nice pops and is popular with fans, there's a sense that she's a mid-card attraction at best on SmackDown right now, and that's rotten when she started 2025 with such a bang, became such a focal point for the entire brand. Here's the thing. Stratton has held that women's title since January, and it's pretty obvious to anybody who watches the Friday Night Weeklies that WWE don't have a roster of opponents they feel comfortable matching her up against. So it's time to shed some gold and refocus for a while. Who knows? Maybe she can win the Royal Rumble, then jump over to Raw in a bid to avenge her loss to Vaquer, as a heel backstage details on reaction to John Cena versus AJ Styles at WWE Crown Jewel 8 WWE Crown Jewel on Saturday. 17-time world champion John Cena faced AJ Styles in a singles match that is already being hailed as an instant classic. Cena ultimately won the match, which featured tributes to WWE legends, as both stars executed finishing moves like the Sister Abigail, the Tombstone Piledriver, Angel's Wings, and more. According to Fightful Select, Cena and Styles received a standing ovation when they returned backstage after their match. The report also mentioned that Styles was unaware that his entrance was coming, and there are no expected issues regarding the mention of the Bullet Club. Additionally, CM Punk was in attendance at Crown Jewel, watching the Cena versus Styles match from the crowd as a spectator. With his match against Styles completed, Cena has only 4 remaining appearances in his WWE career, including Survivor Series, War Games, and an upcoming Saturday night's main event. His final match is scheduled for Saturday, December 13th, at WWE Saturday night's main event at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., and it is rumored to be against the Ring General Gunther. Meanwhile, Styles has confirmed plans to retire next year. Ahead of Survivor Series, Cena is scheduled to appear on WWE Raw in his hometown of Boston on November 10th, followed by another episode of Raw at Madison Square Garden in New York City. On November 17, Bronson Reed beats Roman Reigns. Subtle shots fired at Seth Rollins by Jackie Redmond at WWE Crown Jewel Perth. Roman Reigns suffered a historic defeat to Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. After the show, Jackie Redmond fired some subtle shots at Seth Rollins, who ended the event by getting the monkey off his back. Reed became just the second WWE superstar to pin Reigns in a one-on-one match since 2020. He needed some help from Braun Breaker, but it was a mistake by Jey Uso that gave Big Bronson that opportunity to beat the Tribal Chief. On the Crown Jewel Perth post-show, Redmond gave the Tribal Thief his flowers, putting him in the upper echelon of the main roster. She even made a point of saying that Reed did something that Rollins hasn't done. I don't think we are reacting properly. This is a massive victory for Bronson Reed. This catapulted him into the upper echelon of WWE stars on the roster. If you are not taking Bronson Reed seriously as a threat, then you are ridiculous. This is a pivotal moment for him. Honestly, I kind of look at it like he did something almost nobody has been able to do yet, including the leader of his own group, Redmond said. Bronson Reed is just the second person after Cody Rhodes to beat Roman Reigns in the past 5 years in one-on-one action. Reigns has been nearly unstoppable as the tribal chief, a character Seth Rollins hasn't beaten. Rollins has 2 pinfall wins over Reigns in his career, but both came before 2020. Big E thinks Bronson Reed should get title shot after win over Roman Reigns. Following Jackie Redmond's comments about Bronson Reed, Big E followed it up by suggesting a possible world title shot for the Big Australian. The former WWE champion believes a win over Roman Reigns should give Big Bronson the right to be the #1 contender for a world title. I think he essentially has the golden ticket. If you pin Roman Reigns, if he wants a world title shot tomorrow, he should be able to have that. He should be able to skip the line. It means that much, Big E said. It will be interesting to see how Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman will reward Reed for beating Reigns. Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion, and it would be hard to see him defend the title against someone from the Vision Dot. After Roman Reigns, another top WWE star injured at Crown Jewel 2025, Roman Reigns wasn't the only one who left WWE Crown Jewel 2025 worse for wear. The event delivered its usual chaos, but it might have come at a cost for more than one top name. As reports of Reigns' injury spread, word backstage hinted that another major player could be facing a medical setback of his own. Reigns suffered what appeared to be a legitimate injury during his brutal Australian street fight in Perth. A mistimed spot through a table left him bleeding and visibly shaken, forcing WWE doctors to check on him mid-match. Fans were still talking about that scare when another surprise started making noise. Seth Rollins looked hurt too. Trouble behind the curtain. After Rollins defeated Cody Rhodes in an intense showdown, he was spotted holding his arm in discomfort. Cameras caught him grimacing during his post-match interview, sparking talk that he may have tweaked something during the closing sequence. Sources at ringside say officials seemed cautious about his condition, though no official statement has been made. Rollins' win was supposed to mark a triumphant return to dominance, a turning point in his feud with Rhodes. But if his arm injury turns out to be serious, the celebration could be short-lived. WWE's creative team might have to adjust storylines heading into Survivor Series, especially if the newly crowned champion can't compete at full strength. As of now, the company hasn't confirmed the extent of either star's injuries. That silence, as usual, only fuels speculation. In WWE, where reality often blends with performance, it's never clear whether an injury is part of the act or a genuine concern until someone disappears from TV. Charlotte Flair labeled dumb, but veteran calls her the next big thing in WWE. Every so often, someone inside WWE surprises everyone, not with flashy promos or social media buzz, but with quiet, visible growth. That's what veteran wrestling journalist Bill Apter sees in Maxine Dupree, a performer he believes could become one of the company's next big stars. Apter called her a dumb Charlotte lookalike, not as an insult, but as a comparison to her resemblance and potential to Charlotte Flair. Apter pointed out that Dupree's recent singles match against Becky Lynch showed something real. She wasn't flawless, but she was hungry, composed, and clearly improving. According to him, fans could sense it too. She made a few mistakes, he said, but the crowd was with her. She's going to be a big deal down the road. Coming from a voice who's been around the business for decades, that kind of statement carries weight. She's starting to look like more than just a side act. It's easy to forget how recently Dupree transitioned from being a manager in the Maximum Male Models faction to becoming an in-ring competitor. Now, she's starting to craft her own story. Apter compared her poise and athletic presence to early Charlotte Flair, saying she has the same spark and determination that made Flair a generational performer. The comparison sets a high standard, but it's one that hints at just how much WWE insiders expect from her. Dupree isn't there yet, and she knows it. Wrestling fans can be tough, and the dumb Charlotte label could easily become a box she's trapped in if she doesn't evolve. The real test will be how she handles longer matches, deeper storylines, and higher stakes when WWE puts her under the spotlight. Charles Oliveira submits Mateusz Gamrot, wants Max Holloway next. The former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira is back on the winning column with a terrific submission against Mateusz Gamrot at the UFC Rio main event. The first round was an exchange of light striking, but Oliveira kept adding pressure. In round 2, Oliveira found the gap and bridged it seamlessly. He locked Gamrot by taking his back and sealed the deal with a rear naked choke dot. Immediately after securing a significant win at home, Charles went on to call out his former foe Max Holloway to finish unfinished business. He wants to fight for the BMF belt and clear up all doubts that emerged during their first encounter, where Charles was forced to quit during the fight because of a medical condition and neck injury. Interesting fact, every fighter Ilia Topuria beat recently, Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira, all three of them have done phenomenally well after the loss. The BMF title holder has heard the call-out and seems to be in agreement to accept a rematch. He's recovering from a hand injury. Once that's fully sorted, he would like to initiate this further. We heard the call-out. It would be a fun one. Me and him have a history. He's blaming losing the first fight on some type of injury. I guess we get to figure it out now.